So you just brought home a new puppy and you love them to death, but they are driving you crazy because you know you need to train them, you just don't know where to start. Don't you worry, today I'm gonna show you the first 5 things that you should teach any brand new puppy. But today I'm showing you 2 different puppies. One that's 10 weeks old and one that's 4 months old. As you can tell, the 4-month-old is a bit calmer. This is a 10-week-old Australian Shepherd and she's never done any training before. So y'all are gonna see firsthand what it looks like to start from scratch. For this activity, you're gonna need some supplies. I'm gonna put them right here on the screen. High value treats, a leash, harness or collar. Clicker is optional. If you don't have one, we're just gonna use our voice. You'll also need a treat pouch. It's just so much easier that way. And of course, I have some coffee because I need it. I need it. Over the past few years, I've made only short form content on TikTok, so I'm really excited to be with you guys longer form on YouTube. My puppy training videos have gotten millions of combined views on TikTok, so I'm really excited to be making some longer form content with you guys. This is why we need a leash. We're using a harness for her. Hi, you're just a baby, aren't you? She's going absolutely feral for these Pupford freeze-dried rabbit treats. They're her favorite. There's always a bit of hand-eye coordination that goes into this. So what I want you to do is take the leash around your non-dominant hand. For me, that's my left hand. Clicker is going to go in the same hand. Leash slipped around the wrist, clicker around the wrist. Your dominant hand is open for luring. We'll go over that in a second. And for feeding treats. Got it? The first thing you're going to do is teach them what the clicker means, or if you don't have a clicker, you could just use the word yes. Clicker / the word yes is called a marker word. It's marking the dog in the exact position we want them in, telling the dog, hey, you're doing something right, therefore you earned a treat for it. So it's not that we're just giving the treat, we actually have to teach them that that's the thing I want. So the second she does what I want, she hears a click and she knows the treat is coming after. With any young puppy, you're gonna need to move fast. So periodically you're gonna see her get my attention by either moving out of position and or jumping on me. So if you see me periodically click and feed, that means I'm rewarding her for staying put. I'm also keeping mind of her energy level and her attention to me. She's only 10 weeks old, you guys. So that means I'm gonna incorporate probably a little bit of play within this session as well. Now I can't tell you guys how important it is to have the mark at the right time. Okay, you don't want to wait too long for this. You can wait a second or 2 to grab a treat from your pouch, but this needs to be at the exact time that your puppy did something right. This bridges the gap of communication that we have, because if she spoke English, we wouldn't have to do all this. We would just be able to talk to her and I wouldn't have a job. So the clicker bridges that gap. The timing is really important here. Okay, right now we're just teaching her that one click or one yes means that she gets a treat. So you're not holding a treat in your hand, you're pulling it out of the pouch and giving it to her. One click equals one treat. Now, if I accidentally click this during training, it means I still give her a treat. Right now, we're just gonna do this about 10 times until she understands that every time she hears this, she gets a treat. Your job is not to click, 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 click. Your job is to click it once and one time only. That's the biggest mistake I see most people make. It's not a come here when I call you thing. It's a you're doing something right, therefore you earned a treat. So if your dog's back there and you're trying to get them to come to you, you don't just click this to do that. So now that we've set the foundation for the mark and the reward, now we can actually build on top of that. Moving on to number 2, we want to teach her how to follow a food lure. Okay, that basically means if I'm holding a treat, I want you to be able to follow my hand, because that hand is going to be used to put them in a sit, to focus up to our eyes. I mean, we're going to be guiding her attention with the food. Don't worry, we're also going to be fading that out as we go. But for the foundational level, I like that, so I'm gonna mark that. I want her to know how to follow a food lure. This is how we teach it. I want you to grab that food in your hand. You're gonna put it at their nose level. Mind you, puppies will nip at you a little bit. Take that food, put it at their nose, and then lure them. When she gets up and walks, I'm gonna mark her. You're also gonna hear me pair it with the words this way, so that I can get her up and moving if I need her to. If you have a particularly nippy puppy, right, because she's nipping on my fingers just because she's excited about the food, you can actually feed it open palm where they lick it out of your hand. This way, Cookie. As long as she walks towards my hand, because this is how I get them out of their position. This way. Good job. This is also something, this way, that you'll be able to use when puppy's getting into something they shouldn't, maybe the cat's food or the kids' toys. You don't want to yell their name because that's detrimental to y'all's relationship and teaching her how to come when called. You instead want to make it into a positive thing. Cookie, this way. So she's happy to get up because she thinks she's going to get something good. Now, if your dog's not moving, I encourage you to move with them. So you'll constantly see me using my body language this way. Good job, to get her moving. Now, mind you, if you have it too high, puppy may jump or they may not move towards it. So move it down to their nose level and move with them. There you go. This way. Good. That's our foundation for sit. Now, as you can tell with a 4-month-old puppy, she's able to achieve a bit more, right? She has a longer attention span. Once you've done like 10, 20, 30 of these, I want you to take the food out of your hand and practice. Hi, Cookie. This way. There we go. And then you still give her a treat. This way. Good job. And then I'm going to bring the food back this way. You see she's more enthusiastic when she knows I have the food in my hand, and that's totally fine. This way. Let's give her some patience. Let's let her figure it out. Good job. See, I didn't repeat myself. I didn't have to. She gets it. One more without a treat. Let's pretend to grab a treat. This way. Good job, but she always gets one. Good girl, yay. Now, if anything I'm saying you have more questions about or you want me to go into more detail, make sure you put a comment down below. Otherwise, I have no idea if you guys want me to expand on a certain topic or if I didn't explain it right. Number 3, we're going to teach her what focus means. So I want her to know how to focus on me. Good job. And for that, we're gonna kind of mix the two that we just learned together. And the cool part about this is your dog's going to learn to look at you for things that they want. Right now it's the treat, but eventually this is gonna be them needing to go outside, needing more water, literally anything, because we're teaching them that if you look me in my eyes, you get something that you want. I want you to put your puppy in a sit in front of you, take a treat by their nose and lure them up to your eyes. Mark when they look at the treat. Of course, they're looking at the treat right now, but eventually we are going to move it to the side. Just follow me step by step. Trust the process, y'all. Trust the process. Oh, I thought it'd be really cool to use my Ray-Ban Meta glasses for this because they have a camera in them. So let's try them. Tell me I look smart. Take that treat by her nose. Be careful for the bitey ones. So you gotta move fast. Good. If she's bitey right here, she's gonna jump and follow you right here. So what I want you to do is actually move a little bit away from their nose. So halfway through, pull it away if they do that. You know what? To the side, there we go. I just needed to give her patience. You have to be so patient, you guys. You have to wait until they focus on you. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is they're not firm-handed enough. So I want you to act like you're shaking somebody's hand and you're firm with it. Just like that. So when I put it to the side, firm with it. There's a bird outside my window, let's see. Good job. You're firm with it. You're not shaking it over here, because if you're shaking it over here, puppy's gonna be distracted and go towards it. 4 months old, you can add a little challenge faster. Take that treat, put it a little lower. Take it away if you need to. This is too low, you guys. I'm gonna actually put it closer to my chin level. There we go. Remember, I'm in her bubble when this is happening. I want the treat to be in my bubble. Check this out, I got a treat. I'm gonna put it to the side of me. This treat is in my bubble, okay? It's not in her bubble. If it's in her bubble, she's gonna go for it. Oh, she didn't, good job. The treat is in my bubble, in my peripherals. I'm slowly moving it to her bubble. Okay, that's just to add a little bit of challenge because she's doing really good. Good job, Pua. This is very difficult for a puppy to do because a second ago she was going for it. There you go. Again, we're not adding the name look at me quite yet because we're just learning this today. But to speed things up for the sake of this video, pretend as if it's the next day and you've practiced this for one entire day. I want you to take a finger and say, look at me. Good job. Look at me. Good job, big girl. Another common mistake I see a lot of people make is they wait too long to mark that focus. The second they look at you, mark it. Just like that. Now, the better she gets at it, the more duration I can add to that. Look at me. There you go, good girl. Awesome. Funny way you know if you should add the cue is if puppy starts to back away from the treat. Because what's happening here is that she doesn't want to be close to it because the closer she is, the more tempted she is to go for it. So she's actually moving herself farther away from it. And to me, that means she's understanding what the task at hand is. You don't get the treat by going for it. You get the treat by looking in my eyes. The ultimate challenge is, can she take her eyes off this distraction and put it back on me? Hi. See, what I love so much about this is that in the beginning, she was jumping all over me for the treats and just sticking her head in there because like that makes the most sense for her, right? That's how she gets food. But because we're practicing focus, she stops herself from doing that and instead gives me her focus. Good job. Now we want to teach her how to come when called with her name. I'm putting this in the back end of training for a reason, because now we're going to introduce a lot of movement. And I could imagine a lot of 10-week-old puppies at home are getting antsy around this time. So let's start to introduce a little bit of movement. I want you to take a treat in your hand, put them over here, call their name one time, and move backwards a step like this. Pua. Mark when they step towards you. Try it again. Pua. Good job. I'm gonna take off her leash for that one. Step closer with that treat. Pua. Now you might not need the treat very often. Let's try one without it. Pua. If you have a particularly jumpy puppy, try tossing it on the ground. Right there. Pua. Now, what I love to do is when puppies getting into something they shouldn't be, I like to say, hey, Pua, this way, right? We're combining their name and the one we learned earlier, which is this way, which is technically a redirection away from something they shouldn't be in. So let's try both. Pua, this way. Good. Pua, this way. Now, if you want to make your puppy really tired, I recommend that you try all of them together. And it looks like this. Pua, this way. Look at me. Pua, this way. Look at me. Good. Put her back right here. Pua, this way. Look at me. Good girl. And last but definitely not least, we're gonna go over some handling techniques to get them ready for the groomers, the vet's office, or just people touching them in general. For this, I have a Pupsicle, which is basically an upgraded Kong. I have this linked in my Amazon storefront. We love the Pupsicle. I'm gonna give Miss Kookie a few licks of it while I touch her ear. The reward for touching her ear is this really yummy Pupsicle. There's a frozen treat in it, if you can't tell. Let's do this with her other ear. Let's do this with her paw. Let's do this with her nails. So I want to touch her nail. There you go. Now, of course, you're going to want to make sure her body language is nice and relaxed. So I'm going to touch over her back. If she's really scared and timid, I'm not going to do it, okay? The whole point is to make her comfortable. If she's not comfortable, we're not going to continue. Let's touch her tail. Let's touch her belly, her back legs. Okay, a little bit of resistance, no worries. Touch her thighs, her back feet. Another one I like to do is collar grabs. Of course, with the younger puppy, we see a lot of like backing up movements because typically you have to go pick up that puppy, right? So let's practice that. Putting her in the lap, getting her used to being touched. Even on the top of her head and her eyes, because we're gonna pick eye boogies, lifting her ear, grabbing her harness. I actually have an entire socialization and handling checklist. If you want a full step-by-step guide on how to train your young puppy for the first year of their life, check out my ultimate new puppy guide that's linked in my bio. It walks you through everything you need: socialization, training, and making sure your puppy grows into a well-behaved dog. Now, if you notice, not once did I turn this into a negative experience for her. For example, if she got something wrong or she didn't quite get it, I recognize it's not her fault, it's my fault, okay? I need to bring it down a level and I need to make it easier for her to understand. And also, I say this with love, but you, my friend, need to manage your expectations, okay? You need to click much faster than you think you do. If you are frustrated, stop what you're doing, go have a snack, let puppy run around a little bit. Maybe they need to play. We did play for like 20 minutes before this, because if you're getting frustrated, then that's not a good mindset to be in for you or your puppy. The whole point of training them is to increase their confidence, is to make them into self-thinking dogs. So you don't want to make every decision for them or constantly be on them for the rest of their life. You want to teach them how to act. Miss Pua, she likes to demand bark. Okay, she's learned at a very young age that if she barks at her dad will get up and get her a toy. So Miss Pua's learned all she has to do is bark. But what we're trying to reverse is that barking into giving me focus. So every day, if we practice focus like you just saw me do, she's more likely to come up to to me and give me focus rather than she is to keep barking like she used to. That's a good habit for her to have. She's gonna live in an apartment for the foreseeable future. Plus, looking at me versus barking puts her in a better frame of mind. For me as her trainer, or for her dad as her owner, it feels much better to know that she has the control, the self-control, the impulse control to actually come up and look at me instead of going to the extreme of barking, which can be anxiety inducing for dogs. I love that she's shown herself to her Pupsicle because now it's time to calm down a little bit. I'm hoping that she's gonna take a nap, and after she's out of that nap, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna play for 20 minutes and then we're gonna train again for 20 minutes. That's the ritual you have to do when you have a puppy. If you don't already follow me on TikTok, go ahead and do that, and then subscribe to me on YouTube as well. I have hundreds of puppy training videos on TikTok already, like a puppy routine, which I'm sure you would love if you have a 10-week-old puppy. And let me know in the comments where you're watching from, how old your puppy is, and just anything you can do to press all of the buttons so we can get this channel booming. Thanks for watching, you guys. Miss Pua had such a good time, and let me know in the comments if you're struggling with anything so I can better focus on it next time. Here she is.